Welcome in, everyone. Come on in. The water's fine. Travis Thomas here. And you know I'm not rolling alone. First of all, I have you with me, and I always appreciate it. And then you know who's rolling with us, right? The walking, talking, triple-double himself, producer extraordinaire, fighting out of Inglewood, California, Ante Campbell.
Great introduction, guys. Great introduction. It's great. I feel like you needed to introduce Maya Moore this weekend as she finally got her jersey retired by the Minnesota Lynx. Bro, did you see those gold shoes that Jordan Brand gave her? Every single shoe that she wore in the game, they put it in gold in this huge trophy case, and then she had this dope varsity jacket as well that they gave her. Such a sick intro for her to get her jersey inducted into the rafters of the Minnesota Lynx. So that was such a dope event that they had for her this weekend. I can't believe it, man.
Tay, you know how you call me a hater, right?
Yes.
I gotta be honest, bro. I'm such a fan of hers that I am upset at love. And here's what I mean. Her love story with her husband is well documented.
Yeah.
You know, he was incarcerated. She fought to get him free and all this kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. I love love. I appreciate all that. But we were robbed of Maya Moore because of this man. Because of this man's path and where it took her. We didn't get as much as we deserved, Ante. I mean, honestly, bro, you could say if she's still playing right now, she's the GOAT. But we were robbed of that, Ante. As great as she was, and she deserves all the gold shoes you're telling me about. But, man, I wish she had just kept playing and winning because we'd be having different conversations about her.
I agree. She definitely would have been considered the GOAT of the WNBA if she would have continued to play. But I will say this. She's a GOAT human being.
Yes.
You know what I mean? She's one of the greatest people on the planet at just being a good person. So congratulations, Maya Moore. We hope that your jersey hangs 2 times, actually. They need to do it 3 times because you're a triple platinum person. So you deserve multiple jerseys like Kobe.
That's what I said. I know I'm a hater because I'm like, man, I'm proud of her for everything she's done. But I just selfishly wish we had watched more of her career. But at least I understand what she did. And again, here on Hold My Banner, we love.
Yes.
All right,
sir. Yes,
Tay,
sir.
we'll bring you back because we love when you're on the program. So we'll bring him back later and play some sort of game that I'm sure I'll stink at. But I want to start here. I want to recap because on the last Hold My Banner, we gambled heavily. I told you some Celtics bets that I liked. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because I'm going to give you some other teams in the league that I like as well. But first, in case you missed the last Hold My Banner, first of all, thank you for joining us. Secondly, roll with us, would you? All right, so here's what we'll recap. I told you right now, even though I like for the Celtics to repeat as champs, the West is just too damn wide open. There's so many teams out there. I don't even want to mess around with that. I just want to take the Celtics to win the Eastern Conference at plus 145. And we already know the teams are in contention with, and we respect all of them. Knicks, 76ers, Pacers, Bucks. We get it. But we also know that if healthy, the Celtics are still a cut above all of them. So I'd rather, instead of taking the chance league-wide, all those deep teams out west, I'd rather just really bet them to win the Eastern Conference, and it's a decent price at plus 145. Now, because of that, I'm rolling with over 58.5 wins for the Celtics. Again, if I'm taking them to win the East, I'm going to go over that win total, even though I know it's high and we all look at that. But the Celtics were so good last season, they won 64 wins. Even if you believe, like I do, that they take a slight step back, because I think they'll take a slight step back in the regular season. I still think they're a 60-win team, 59, maybe you sweat it out. So I'm going to go over there for the Celtics, over 58.5 wins. Now, those are team bets that I told you to make. We also gave you an individual one, and you know why. Jason Tatum, 18-1 for MVP. The reason we did that is because think about the disrespect Jason Tatum has got all offseason. First of all, let's go back to the championship run. Remember, Jaylen Brown was the best player all playoffs long. Like, that's not a hot take. That's a fact. NBA Finals MVP. So what did we see happening during that time? All of us rolled our eyes because we've done this 4 or 5 years ago, where it's like, is Tatum the man? Is Tatum an alpha? Does Tatum and Brown actually get along? Blah, blah, blah. All that nonsense. We've been there, done that, have the T-shirt. But the national media was running with it. Fans outside of this market running with it. So you start there. I mean, no props to the guy for being a champion and his contributions at all, right? It's all, is this Tatum's team or not? Then you get to the Olympics. Oh, I ain't forgot Steve Kerr. We all know that disrespect that my man got. So Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, but let's just talk about Tatum, should be coming into this season with an attitude. Now, I'll take him at 18-1 because he fills up the stat sheet a little bit more than Jaylen Brown, who I also believe is going to come in this season with a V for Vendetta. But because of Tatum's overall game, rebounds, assists, points, I think Tatum will have a better look to win that MVP award. So I like that bet at 18-1. Now, those are the recap bets that we gave you last time. Here are 2 other NBA bets that I like, and I'm going to stay with the team and win totals here. So, again, we talk about Celtics. We talk about Knicks. We talk about 76ers. We talk about the Magic I brought up. 76ers, Pacers, all these teams in the East. There is one team that I haven't really mentioned in terms of betting on. Now, those handful of teams that I named, we talk about them for good reason because I think they can all push the Celtics in the Eastern Conference, although I like the Celtics to win it, as we just said. But there's one team I don't have in that grouping, but I do believe they're going to go over this win total, and the win total is 47.5, and it's the Cleveland Cavaliers. I'll take the over. I like Cleveland. Here's the deal. First of all, they ran their head coach out of the city, which I thought was a mistake. I liked Bickerstaff, but they run him out of town. They bring in Kenny Atkinson. Okay, in theory, that is an upgrade. We'll see if it pays off, but in theory, that's an upgrade. Remember this as well. We talked about this last season. That core of the Cavs, those core players, they rarely all played at the same time. Everyone was dealing with injuries all year long. It was like almost like a rotating door of who's in and out of the lineup. What we saw in the playoffs was a microcosm of the whole season. That was happening all regular season. I bet on the Cavs a ton last year, game to game. And it was like, oh, Mobley's out. Oh, Mitchell's out again. Oh, Garland's out. It was sort of a revolving door. My guess is an upgraded coach, in theory, and there's no way all these guys are going to be hurt again at the same time, right? So let's assume the basketball gods give them a little bit more health. I think they can go over this number. With all those things that I just said working against them last season, a coach they didn't like, guys in and out of the lineup, at least the core, they still won 48 games. Think about that. So now you have an upgraded coach. We think you should be healthy. I think this team could win 49, 50 games. So I'll take over for the Cavs, even though I don't believe in them big picture. My favorite bet, though, I've been talking about this team all off season. If you watch Hold My Banner, you already know where I'm going. And no, it's not the Magic. I'm going out west. The Houston Rockets, man. This outside of Orlando betting the Magic, this is probably my favorite bet of the offseason. I love this Rockets team. I will take over 43.5 wins. And again, kind of what I just talked about with Cleveland, it's true with the Rockets in a sense. So last season, the Rockets were a 500 team. They overachieved. And they really barely missed out on the play-in tournament. They got close. So I'm watching that last season, and I thought, okay, let's give them another offseason. I want to see what they do. And then we know Ime, another year coaching that team. That's a young team, by the way. He's going to have those guys ready to believe. I like their offseason. Ime, we know, can coach. I think a young team like them can actually learn from being close but no cigar in terms of missing out on at least a play-in tournament. Who knows if they would have made the postseason or not, but just sort of missing out on having a chance to do it, I think they can learn from. They got that close. 43.5 wins is still manageable. Again, they went 500 last season, so what are you telling me, a 3-game improvement? Yeah, I'll take that. I like the Rockets here. Not only do I like them over on that win total of 43.5, I think the Rockets will make the postseason this upcoming season. All right, I want to transition, or pivot, if you will. See what I did there? To the WNBA. Over the weekend, I watched Baltimore native Angel Reese make history yet again. It seems like every game she plays, she makes history against the Connecticut Sun this time. Now, more on the Sun in a moment. But I just want to bask in the greatness that is Angel Reese. I mean, my God, I know how great Caitlin Clark is. And we talk about her on the show all the time. Every show talks about how great Caitlin Clark is. And she is, rightfully so. But Angel Reese is undeniable at this point. And she continues to break these double-double records. So over the weekend, she grabbed 20 boards as the Sky lost to the Sun. Reese became the first player in WNBA history to record multiple 20-rebound games. I mean, she's literally, every time she's out there, she's breaking double-double records. I call Ante the walking, talking triple-double. She is a walking, talking, double-double record breaker. I mean, every time she's out there, she continues to grab multiple 20-plus point rebounds. It's insane. So I just found myself watching that game, and the Sun won. It was last second. It was an exciting game. But I just found myself, and I've noticed this with me several times this season. When I watch Angel Reese and I watch Caitlin Clark, I just can't take my eyes off of them. And the games are great. And their teams, both of them, playoff position, all that. But I'm just like, man, like they jump out. That's what greatness looks like, right? We all know that. We've all seen great players in whatever sport. They jump out of the screen at you. And Angel Reese crashing boards is just ridiculous. I mean, she's Dennis Rodman with a better offensive game. It's unbelievable to watch her play. Now, let me go and talk about the Sun for a second, the Connecticut Sun. Because, yes, it was so cool to watch Angel Reese doing her thing. But the Sun, much like they always do, it's not flashy. It's not a fireworks show. It's not, they're not this like over-the-top, gaudy type, exciting team. You know what they are? The Connecticut Sun just put their hard hat on. They packed their lunchbox. They got one of those metal lunchboxes too. Not the kind you get at Target. That's all nice. No, they got the metal old school joints. You knock on their lunchbox, it goes ding, 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 ding. They got those. And they just go to work and get it done. They get bleep done. The Connecticut Sun, they ended the Liberty's 8-game winning streak and clinched a playoff berth over the weekend. Now that I looked at that game and I thought this is a big mental win for the Sun, because before that, and we talked about it here on Hold My Banner, the Liberty, who are the creme de la creme, have owned them. I mean, they've just owned them. So for the Sun to finally break through and beat the Liberty at this point of the season, think about this. There's only a month left in the regular season. In fact, if you really look at it, I just looked at this past week for the Connecticut Sun. I could make the argument, and I will here, that they're peaking at the right time. Let me explain. So you remember, we talked about the game where LA came to TD Garden. Remember that? The Connecticut Sun hosted the LA Sparks in TD Garden. The crowd was a sellout crowd. They were chanting, "Beat LA! Beat LA," like the old school around here. And guess what the Sun did? They responded in kind in a great game there. They beat LA in front of a sold-out crowd in TD Garden, okay? Then they find a way to beat Chicago despite what I was just telling you, Angel Reese's yet another historic game, a historic night for her. Somehow, some way, even with the spotlight on her, even with the attention on her, even with all eyes on her, the Sun walk away eking out a win. This is what they always do. And then finally, I looked this up. They had lost to the Liberty 4 straight times. They finally beat the Liberty. So now you get that breakthrough. I think this team's peaking at the right time. You clinch a playoff berth after getting over the hump, beating a team that you can never figure out a way to beat, who right now is the top of the mountain. I would say this Connecticut Sun team is peaking at the right time with a month left here in the regular season, and here they come. They could win this whole shebang-a-bang. No one's talking about them, but we are here on Hold My Banner. So kudos to those ladies. All right, let's bring them back. Ante Campbell, who I saw was taking copious notes during my opening rant. What do you got for me, my friend?
Here comes the sun. Do-do-do-do. Yeah, that's how I feel too, Travis. I'm right there with you. And I think the trade that they made for Marina Mabry has just been huge for this team. She had 15 points in that game that you were talking about against the Liberty. And I think that was the game changer for them at this point. I was a little nervous, I can't lie. When they came out of the break and they lost to the Atlanta Dream and Dejanay didn't play in the game and, all of that stuff. But now, after watching them, I think they're on a 4-game win streak right now. And winning out here in Boston and TD Garden. It looks like this team is focused. They looked excited to play. They're locked in. And they finally got over the hump, like we said. We talked about it before, the Liberty are just better. You know what I mean? They're just better. But now they're showing that they have a little bit more edge, a little bit more firiness. They're being slept on a lot, like you said, because they don't have the flashy players on their teams. You know what I mean? Alyssa Thomas and DeWanna Bonner are their leaders, and they're great WNBA players. We know that. No question about that. DeWanna Bonner and Alyssa Thomas, Hall of Famers.
Yes.
But they are not the flashy Asia Wilson, Kaylin Clark, household names. You know what I'm saying? So obviously just having this team together and seeing that they're all in on their mission and thinking hey, people don't know who we are, but we're going to make people know who we are.
Yes.
I think they do have an opportunity to win a championship this year now.
I think that's well said. And by the way, we're talking WNBA, but let's just be honest about this. It doesn't matter what sport you're watching. We always see these teams who get hot to end a regular season, Ante. No one wants to play them once you get to the playoffs. And you get into that postseason tournament, and those teams that are hot always, now they don't always win a championship, but they almost always have a great showing and sort of an extension of that hotness at the end of the regular season. They carry it over. And they'll either rattle off a couple wins in the playoffs and then run out of gas, lose to an eventual champion, or some of them go on to win the title. So I'm looking at the Sun now, and I'm like, look, it almost works for them that the Liberty have owned them all season. Because now they finally beat them here at the end. Right? Only a month left here. They beat them. They're playing well, as you mentioned. I just told you last week everything they did. And I just think it's a huge sort of monkey to get off of your back while clinching a playoff berth. So I'm telling you, I think this team goes in the postseason hot, and they're going to be a problem. They're going to be a tough out. Even if they don't win it all, which it sounds like you and I believe they can. But if they don't, they're going to ruin somebody's summer because they are knocking some people off.
They are, and especially with the Aces kind of now looking like the Aces, they definitely got a chance. No question about that. No question about that. But all right,
what do we
Travis, got? I want to do the center.
Oh, the draft. Oh, man.
So we're drafting all-time centers. Last time Power Forwards, of course, I gave you the first pick. So with this one, I will be taking the first pick, and I won't waste too much of your time.
Why you got my man Bill in a suit? You couldn't get him in his uniform? You got him. I mean, he's looking dapper here, but you got everybody else in the uniform, and you got my man Bill in a suit.
Player coach. It's hard to get it's hard to get those pictures of Bill Russell back in the day.
It's a great looking graphic, my friend. Great job.
Player coach. He was also, he's the only one on this team of these pictures that have the opportunity to be a coach and a player in the same game. You know what I mean?
Before we start this draft, can I ask you a question? Did you ever see any any video, any footage at all, grainy, black and white, anything of Wilt Chamberlain's 100 points? Are we still just going off that stupid ass sign where he had 100 like this, and we're just supposed to believe he scored 100? Have you seen any video, Ante?
No, well, Carmelo Anthony claims that he saw a video once of it, and that's the only evidence on video that I have of that game ever existing.
Is Melo saying he saw?
Bro, I saw like videos this summer of like the 1914 Olympics or something like that in color. I'm like, yo, like, what's going on, man? Where's the video?
Where's the video?
I feel like Anthony Edwards. Send the video.
Send the video. Like, where is it? Like, we can't get one basket? Or like, here's one basket. This is all we could find from the archive 100 point. I ain't seen one basket. I don't think it happened.
All right, so here we go. All-time centers drafts. My team versus Team Travis. First pick, I'm going to go with the guy that's obviously at the top of this list. He was the all-time leader in scoring before LeBron James eclipsed it with his Lakers team. I got to take Kareem Abdul-Jabbar with the first pick, Mr. Skyhook, and I think I'm going to put him at the 4.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to lie. I'm a little surprised that you went that route. I think it's the L.A. in you.
All of these guys played for the Lakers, mostly.
It's true.
At some point or another.
That's actually a good point.
They all play for the Lakers.
Yeah, they're all Lakers. All right, look, I didn't think you were going to go Kareem, so now I'm in a tough spot because I have my pick. I thought for sure one of these guys would be gone, so I'm going to just talk through this if you don't mind.
Go ahead. Take your time.
It's between Shaq or Hakeem Olajuwon.
Yeah.
Now, here's where I'm going to go and why. Shaq's one of my most favorite players of all time, the most dominant player I've ever watched. Yep. I remember skinny Shaq at LSU. I'm old enough to remember that. And him running the floor and doing all that. Mm-hmm. But as big of a Shaq fan as I was, and still am, I cannot unsee Hakeem Olajuwon putting my man Shaq.
Yep.
I mean, that was literally my favorite player as a kid. He put Shaq in a blender and blended him every which way. It didn't matter. I mean, dream shake, you want up and under. He crossed him over at one point. I said, okay. I mean, he beat the hell out of Shaq.
It was a young Shaq. It was a young Shaq.
I don't care. Young Shaq was a problem. That don't mean nothing to me.
He was.
You could argue young Shaq was better than old fat Shaq.
Okay, but it's like, Joel Embiid got Wemby now, but he ain't going to get Wemby in 5 years.
Listen to me. Joel Embiid does not belong in this conversation. Okay, relax. We're talking about all-timers. I'm going to Dream Shake, man. Give me Hakeem Olajuwon, my first pick.
Keem. I like that. Do you know what position you're going to put him at?
Let me worry about my team.
Okay, my fault. I would just put him over here somewhere.
No, you have a team
you know
to
what I'm
build.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'll just put him in the roster somewhere.
Yeah,
all
no
right.
problem.
And with that, you made my decision very, very easy.
I mean, bro.
I'm going to take the most dominant.
I get it.
Basketball player, forget center of all time, shattering backboards. When he was young, he was flying around the court. When he was older, he was just sitting in the paint and nobody could stop him. You send 2 at him, it didn't matter. He's dunking on the whole team.
Right.
I'm taking Mr. Shaquille O'Neal with the 3rd pick in this draft.
I respect it.
And I will be putting him at center, obviously.
Okay, so listen, here's what's interesting. You have Kareem and you have Shaq, so that's a ton of scoring. I have Olajuwon, can score.
Yep.
I'm going to fight fire with fire here. A lot of times I try to strategically stop a guy on your team or whatever. I'm not going to do that. Even though I made fun of that stupid sign with 100 on it, I still, before Shaq, everyone, all the old timers said Wilt Chamberlain was the most dominant player of all time. Mm-hmm. So give me Wilt Chamberlain.
Okay.
I feel as though he can neutralize Shaq.
Yeah, I wouldn't say all that.
Well, we'll see. I feel like he can neutralize Shaq. And then one thing that's for certain, 2 things for sure. Mm-hmm. When the game is over, Wilt is making our after party plans. Thank you very much. Wilt's in charge of that.
I got Shaq for that. I'm not worried about it. DJ
he ain't
Shaq,
messing with Wilt.
DJ Shaq.
He ain't messing with Wilt.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that. Shaq got like 18 kids. So, I'm not worried about that. He know how to have fun. All right. With the next pick.
That's a lot of kids, dog.
Exactly. With the next pick, you made this extremely easy for me once again. The centers draft is loaded. I have to go get a guy who I think people here for sure love.
Yep.
Retired by the entire NBA is number 6. He's going to be our coach. He's going to be our player.
Yeah.
He's going to do a lot of great things. He's going to hold us responsible on defense. He's a really good passer as well.
Yep.
Really good rebounder and shot blocker as a whole. I'm going to take him and put him at the 3. I need Mr. Bill Russell.
Respect. I got nothing to say there other than congratulations. That was a beautiful draft pick by you. Rest his soul. I'm going to go look, I need some athleticism here. I was a bigger Patrick Ewing fan than I was David Robinson.
Yeah.
But with my team, Olajuwon, super athletic. Wilt, super athletic. I want to keep that going. I'm going to go David Robinson as someone who can run the floor.
The Admiral.
He could do everything. I mean, it shows you how great Tim Duncan was, because I almost feel like in a lot of ways, Tim Duncan's greatness overshadows David Robinson's, and people forget prime David Robinson. I think maybe because of where I'm from and him, being a Naval Academy guy, Maryland guy, maybe it's greater in my mind. But David Robinson is an all-time great center and sort of ahead of his time in terms of athleticism at that position. So I'll go David Robinson over Patrick Ewing here.
For sure. I think I'm going to go in the opposite direction. This guy was a guy who threw the ball off the glass and dunked it this weekend.
Yeah.
Very basically.
Yep.
And the internet went crazy. But I have a lot of scoring on my team. Some defense, obviously, of course, because these are centers. These are guys who are going to anchor your floor.
Yep.
I got to go get somebody who's not as great of a defender, not a bad defender, but an extremely good passer. Understands the offense at a high level, really big IQ guy. We'll get these guys the ball in every situation. We'll be okay with not shooting the ball, even though he can score on all 3 levels. And obviously, we're playing in a modern game. We're going to need guys who can stretch the floor. This guy can do that. He can bang with the bigs down low. He's got the footwork to do some Olajuwon type things. I need Nikola Jokic, and I'm putting him at the point guard.
That's a devastating draft pick for me. I don't like that at all. I really wanted Joker on my team, and I thought he'd be there for the taking because there's so many great centers. I thought you'd be sleeping on that, brother.
They are.
All right. Well, listen, you leave me no choice. I mean, if you're gonna go Jokic that early, I need a point guard to deal with him. You leave me no choice, man. I hate to have 2 Spurs on my team. But you know what? Go ahead. Play Jokic at point guard. I got somebody that can run it better. He's not going to shut your guy down, but he can run it better. Give me Wemby at the point guard position on my team. And good luck to Joker and his fat slowness with my guy Wemby, who's 7'9", with the handles with the yee, and the hezzy and the yee. And he got a jumper on you. Let's go, Wemby.
Wemby got absolutely destroyed by Jokic this year. I am not worried about that because we're not talking about Wemby 5 years from now. You're taking Wemby today. And Wemby today is, a great player. But, we watch Jokic carry a team full of guys we don't even know to a bronze medal game and almost beat USA. You know what I'm saying? Which Wemby did as well. He almost beat USA as well. But he had other guys.
He did. He had other guys.
You know what I mean? This was a Jokic masterclass. You know what I'm saying? And we saw that. So I'm not worried about it. I'm going to take the 3-time MVP over that. But congratulations. You got Wemby. You know what I mean? If we're talking 5 years from now, okay. Now, no. I don't care about Wemby. You can have him. He wasn't even on my list. I ain't even going to lie to you. So you pulled him way too early. All right. So with that, I'm going to take a guy who actually did have a long career. Yeah. Not a champion in terms of an NBA champion, but a dude where we talk about skill sets and all this other stuff that are important. Yep. We need guys who can shoot the ball out to 15 feet at the very least, because we're talking about centers. So I need guys who can stretch the floor, who can bang, put the ball on the floor. You know what I mean? All that type of stuff, especially because I'm looking for guards at this point in my draft.
Right.
I'm going to take a guy who was a killer at Georgetown, a killer in New York. Sorry, Boston fans, but you always beat him, so who cares?
He was.
I need Patrick Ewing, Mr. 33, on my team playing shooting guard.
Yeah, I respect that. I mean, I'll tell you this, man. No one sweat quite like Pat Ewing. I never, even as a kid, I was just like, how is this guy so sweaty? Like, I would have never wanted to guard Patrick Ewing, not only because he was awesome, but that brother, his sweat glands, they're the GOAT. Like, he's got the GOAT sweat glands. I've never seen anything like it.
And I can tell you this, Travis. The only knock that I have on Patrick Ewing, besides the fact that he never won a championship, which is not really him, that's a New York basketball issue.
Facts.
Is the fact that he's a terrible coach. And that's why I got Bill Russell. So I don't even have to worry about him coaching.
He can be the assistant.
Nothing. Play basketball, all right? We're good.
All right, I got to round out my top 5 here. So I need someone who's super versatile here. I got Wemby at point guard. I'm going to go ahead and put Elijah one with that footwork at my 2. Yep. We know he could score. You know, David Robinson feels so athletic. I can put him at the 3.
Okay. D-Rob at the 3.
I'm going to go Wilt Chamberlain at the power forward.
Okay.
You know, a little undersized for this new age stuff. So I'll put him at power forward.
Yeah, because he can't match up with Shaq.
That's what I'm saying. So I want a center who's a true center.
Yep.
I think all time, this is one of the most underrated players ever. I'm going to go Dwight Howard at my center and put him at true center. Just super athletic. Won't fear any of these dudes.
You replaced the undersized center with an undersized center?
Yeah, but he plays a lot bigger than, you know, Wilt. I feel like with, you know, Wemby's taller than everyone on my team. He's playing point guard. So I need someone on the interior that's going to play like the big dog. I think Wilt at the 4 and Dwight at the 5 will give me everything I need, interior-wise.
Whew. Yeah. All right. Well, look, I'm shocked. When you said underappreciated, I thought you were going for a guy that should be, honestly, like, should have been drafted way higher than this in this situation. So for the 6th man, I'm going to take a guy who I feel like is one of the more underappreciated superstars of all time. 1-time Finals MVP, 3-time MVP of the NBA, played for the 76ers, Mr. Moses Malone. He was a do-it-all kind of guy, one of the greatest offensive rebounders in NBA history. And he's 139th in steal. Now I hear you, 139th. But for a center who's parked in the paint the whole entire game, averaging 17.6 rebounds a game once in a season, 17.6, and he's still that high in steals, I got to have him up there, man.
Fair enough. All right, look, usually coming off of my bench in these lists, I always go someone who – what generally you want from a 6-man. They're going to come in. They're going to give you buckets. They're going to give you energy. They're going to give you excitement. I'm going a completely different direction here for centers. Now, the kid in me can't believe that I'm leaving 2 Georgetown guys off of this. I'm staring at Zoe Morning still on the board. I'm staring at Dikembe Mutombo still on the board. Yet still, coming off my bench for all-time centers, I need a pure center. I need someone that's going to come in, slow the game down. Go get your big self down in the paint and make something happen. Be an immovable object. Have that dog in you. Can you block shots? Check. Can you grab boards? Check. Can you score on the interior? Check. Are you tough as nails? You're damn right. Coming off my bench, underrated all time, Yao Ming. Let's go, Yao. Hey, man, show some respect. Put some respect on Yao Ming's name.
Boston fans, look,
put some respect.
Boston fans, please be nice to Travis.
What's your problem with Yao Ming?
Hold on, no.
What's your problem?
No. Look me in the camera right now. Okay, look at me. Look at me. I am the captain now. I am the captain. Okay, look at me, Travis.
All right.
You left
what?
Robert Parrish off.
Listen, man.
Hold on. No. Because I know that you were watching college basketball back in those days.
I was not. Not when Robert Parrish. How old do you think I am? In fact, the Robert Parrish I saw, respectfully, as a child of the 90s, I mean, he couldn't move. They called him the Chief. I ain't see it. I mean, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. But I watched Dwight Howard. I watched Dream. I watched David Robinson. I am watching Wemby. I watch Yao Ming. I'll take my chances there. The only person I didn't see with thine eyes in their prime or at all is Wilt Chamberlain, but it's Wilt Chamberlain. And somebody's got to provide the entertainment for after the game. That's Wilt's job, in addition to getting buckets on my team.
Travis, there's no way you left Robert Parrish off.
Well, why you ain't drafted? You ain't draft them.
Nah, I got some Celtics in there. Where's your Celtics?
Ain't no mandate. I gotta take Celtics.
Where's your Celtics? You never put Celtics in your draft. You're the host of the show, man.
I'm not gonna lie. To be fair, I did have Bill Walton, rest his soul as well, on my draft board, but I decided to go Yao Ming.
And I also think that it's crazy that you put Yao Ming over freaking Joel Embiid. Like, I understand that you don't like the guy.
Joel Embiid.
I understand, or Bob McAdoo. Where are these guys at?
McAdoo. What?
You don't know
who's next.
You don't know who.
Who's next? Mikan? I mean, what do you want from me? Please.
You don't know who. Nah, I'll just play it. All right. Can we switch it over?
Here's a recap.
Okay, yeah.
Tay has Kareem, Shaq, Bill Russell, the Joker, Pat Ewing, and coming off his bench, Moses Malone. Yep. Me, Dwight Howard, Wemby, David Robinson, Wilt Chamberlain, Olajuwon coming off my bench, Yao Ming. Yep. Clearly, I have the best center team.
Y'all let us know who won in the comments. I know it's my team, so don't even, just get there, click, say just and I'll know what you're talking about.
Please. All right, what's next?
So next we need to do a preview of the Suns, okay?
God.
We got to talk about what we think is going to happen for the Suns this upcoming season. How do you feel about the Suns, their offseason, their new head coach, Mike Budd, and what they got going on?
I think they're going to be I think they'll be 500 next season and miss the postseason. I'll take 41-41 for the Suns. They're a mess. I don't believe in them. I didn't believe in them last year. I thought they had too many of the same player, and I still feel that way, even with Tyus Jones going there, which, look, that was a tremendous signing, and that's the only reason I have them at 500, to be honest with you. Durant, Booker, and Beal do not work. They just don't. Booker gets banged up. Durant is in an advanced stage of his career, and I personally don't believe he's going to be there all year. I think that's the piece they're going to end up moving at the trade deadline. Nobody's going to want Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal's a loser, okay? Bradley Beal can give you stats and nothing else, and he didn't even give the Suns that last season. Booker gets hurt. And then I think Durant was a guy who showed up for them last season, but everyone blamed everything on him. I couldn't even believe it. Yeah. It was a miracle that they were even a playoff team. I will take Kevin Durant to get traded at the deadline. I would love to see a reconciliation. Let's run it back. Let's get back together, baby, please, with the Thunder. But I don't know if that's going to happen or not. But I do believe Durant will get traded. Maybe Miami. They've been trying to get him for forever. But I do not believe in the Suns at all. I think they are a 500 team that needs to be rebuilt, and they're in denial that they need to do that.
Even after watching the Olympics this year, you're still that low on the Suns. Is it all because of Brad? Like, is it all because of Beal that you're feeling this way, or like?
I wouldn't say all. He's a big percentage of it. I just believe they have three of the same style player. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah. They're all ball centric. They're all jump shooters.
Yep.
It doesn't make any sense. I never thought that worked. Mm-hmm. Booker, Beal, and Durant.
Yeah.
Why? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I think they're going to be floating around that 4, 5, 6 seed this year. I kind of do have a little more hope in this team.
All right.
Just because I think that this offseason, with Booker being with other stars, he showed his ability to like be a glue guy, be still like a leader. You know what I mean? Like, I know there was a lot of leaders on that team, so I wouldn't say he was the leader. Yeah. But you know what I mean? A leader when he was on the floor, doing the right things, bought into the defensive end and stuff like that, not showing the need to be the on-ball scorer the entire time. So I think he took a step forward with that. As long as Bradley Beal can make shots on the perimeter, I think this team can be a decent team again, 4, 5, 6 range. I think it's probably gonna, and also think they're not that great defensively. They were okay, you know what I mean, last year. I think with Coach Bud, they're gonna be a lot better, and you know, they'll just continue to be a better team overall because of that. But they'll probably still get bounced first, second round in the Western Conference playoffs this year.
You're putting a lot of faith in Bradley Beal, my friend. I also see you want to preview the Kings. Look, unlike the Suns, I actually believe in the Kings' big three. I think that works stylistically. De'Aaron Fox, speedster, hasn't really gone to the next level yet. Yeah, he's sort of been stagnant the last couple seasons. Very good. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, but it's like I wonder if he's peaked, and I wonder if he's leveled off. When I watch his game, I don't feel like he is. I know he's a hard worker, so I'm just wondering what gives. So this is a season where I have my eye on him specifically. Does he take the next step? Which if he does, watch out. If he doesn't and he stays, okay, then this is just who he is. But I could still live with it. Yeah. And then one of the greatest mid-rangers, if not the, next to Michael Jordan and Kobe, of course, of all time is DeMar DeRozan. I don't think he gets enough credit. Yeah. And then Sabonis on the inside, a walking double-double. So I think that big three works. We'll see if the Kings can sort of fill out, you know, outside of those big three as a team. But I believe in them way more than I do the Suns. I think the Kings will be a tough out in the Western Conference playoffs.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous about their three-point shooting. Obviously, they went and drafted Devin Carter, who is supposed to be a guy that can knock down shots for them, and he's out, you know what I mean, for the season. So already. So, I'm a little nervous about their three-point shooting. I think that they're going to score in a lot of unconventional conventional ways. We're going to have to see how great of a coach Mike Brown really is. I think this trio is going to be a good trio. I want to know, though, do you think any of these three guys will make an all-star appearance this year?
Yeah, I think De'Aaron Fox is just the best player there. Sabonis also has a chance. I don't know if DeRozan will at this stage of his career, but I think if I had to bet on one of them, it would be De'Aaron Fox. I just want to see if Fox can be even better. I really do, because I think he has another gear left to him. By the way, I know you wanted to end it with Shaq hating. It's usually me hating on this show. But you were telling me that Shaq was hating on the Olympics. What happened?
Yeah, so Shaq came out with this quote. He was saying that the fact that USA Basketball won 97 to 95, you only beat South Sudan by 1 possession.
Oh, come
on, bro. That's never supposed to happen. So he was saying that he hasn't really paid attention to the Olympics this summer.
Whatever,
how do you feel about that?
You're right. You were right when you said Shaq was hating. This is ridiculous. Like, I get it. You know, I sat on Hold My Banner complaining that this wasn't the 92 Dream Team. Mm-hmm. And then eventually I let that go, didn't I, Ante? Yeah. Like, at some point, we all got to move on, Shaq. You got to relax. Like, the rest of the world is caught up. It is what it is. I think it's great for the game that the rest of the world is caught up. Now, my blood pressure isn't good for it because I'm screaming and cussing in front of my kids when I watch Team USA, right? Yeah. But at the end of the day, the fact that the rest of the world is caught up is good for basketball, Ante.
Shaq, the last time you played Olympic basketball was 28 years ago.
Don't
and I would know because it's the year that I was born,
man. Don't do this. You're being disrespectful.
The rest of the world is caught up, like you said, Travis. Yeah. Like, it is not the same basketball. Basketball has gotten better. Now, I understand we're out there putting out 13, 12 NBA stars, but it's not the same, Shaq. I know that you're sometimes with the youth movement and sometimes you're not, bro. Yep. Get with it. The French people have had 2 back-to-back first overall picks.
Facts.
International basketball is here, and they're only going to continue to get better.
Facts.
Simple as that.
Well said. Let's keep Ante up here, Ryan, as I say goodbye. I just want everyone to know who supports Hold My Banner. First of all, thank you. Secondly, I'm going to take some time off here. I'm dealing with a family issue. So I just wanted to let you all know I will be back for the Celtics preseason and the subsequent, hopefully, knock on wood, right, repeat title run that we get from the Celtics. But in the meantime, in between time, Ante will be here and others holding you down here on Hold My Banner. So please keep supporting us. I'll get back to you, as I said, as soon as possible. Once we get into Celtics preseason, I will show back up and we'll party again together. Thank you all for supporting the show and any well wishes that you have for me and my family. Thank you so much. And thank you for supporting Hold My Banner. Till next time, when I'm back and I ask you to hold it again, but Ante will be here with you. So keep holding him down just like he's holding you down. Thank you. Peace.
We love you, Travis.
Thank you, bro.